Recently I graduated university and I might be one of those rare content creators who didn't drop out to pursue their passion. Now I have higher education which I don't know what to do with. Yippee! Attending university sure was an experience. A good one, a bad one, mid at best. I don't know what to expect nor what I wanted, so I was just there until it ended. I enrolled spontaneously. Thought, why not? Shrugged and went for it. Back in high school, one of my photography teachers told me that I absolutely should go to university after I graduate. He thought I was pretty good at photography and multimedia stuff like Photoshop and video editing, so it would benefit me to continue perfecting my skills. He also said he's a professor in one university in the same town as my high school, so it would be convenient for me as well. So I picked an artistic field of study, of course. I submitted a portfolio with all kinds of my work, paid the entry fee, delivered all needed documents, only to get rejected 3 days before the university year was supposed to start. Why? Not because my portfolio was bad or anything, but because only 5 people, including me, enrolled for that field of study. The group was too small to start the program, so we just got neatly packaged paper letters saying, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that for 5 people." The next day I went to the university building to quickly enroll for something else. At this point I have decided I was going to be a uni student and didn't want to back down. I looked at the school's offer and picked another major, PR and advertisement. Did I know what PR even is? No, but it sounded cool, and when I entered the secretary office to ask them to sign me up for it,
You're switching to PR, right?
yes,
Great! The program will start with a neat number of students.
I'm starting to think it was an elaborate scheme. I didn't really know how universities work. I went in pretty much blind. On the first day we had an introduction. 2 ladies were talking about stuff, which I don't remember, and introduced the caretaker of our group, which turned out to be the same photography teacher who convinced me to enroll to this uni. I was really happy about it. It was relieving to know there will be at least one familiar face around, even if it's a professor's face. We got an attendance list to sign and I recognized one name on it. It was a girl who I was good friends with in middle school, but we went to different high schools and lost contact. I looked around to check if I could find her, but didn't see her in the sea of human heads, so I assumed it was a weird coincidence of names. The ladies kept talking. The younger one was giving a presentation about something and she was so visibly nervous I was feeling bad for her. Moments later, a girl entered the classroom and you'd never guess. It was my middle school friend. We can call her JJ. A seat next to me was empty. She found me and sat with me. We only smiled at each other as a greeting to not disturb the poor lady stressed out of her mind. After the introduction, we talked a bit, met new people in our group, and then parted our ways. I went home. The next day, however, JJ asked me why I wasn't in the lectures yesterday. We had lectures yesterday? Turns out I actually skipped my very first day in university. Well, I am not a very people person. I am perfectly fine by myself, so I didn't try very hard to make friends. If someone walked up to me to strike up a conversation, I wouldn't run away or bite them. I would interact like a normal human being. Most of the times. Sometimes people in my group just... There was one guy with a very specific way of being. He was fine, very nice, yet very direct. One time I was having breakfast outside, minding my own business, and he walked up to me, sat on the same bench, leaned closer and looking me straight in the eyes, asked, "What music do you listen to?" I was confused. Not even high or nice weather we're having, or choke on that sweet bun with strawberry jam. It was in my Slavaboo phase when I learned that there are people out there who are as excited about Slavic culture as others are about Japanese culture, for example. And I thrived on that for some time. Hard bass? Like Tripolowski? Yeah. I don't like it. I like disco polo. Okay, good for you. I, on the other hand, don't like disco polo. Okay. And he stood up and left. To this day, I wonder if this interaction was even real. In our first year, we had work ethic and philosophy lectures. Why? I don't know. I get ethic. It's good to know regardless of your field of study, but what does Plato have to do with ads? Just as a reminder, I was studying PR, public relations, and advertisement. Another fun fact about those two subjects is that they were taught by a priest. Now, I'm not the most religious person out there, despite the Polish stereotype, but this priest was chill. He stepped up to the university professor standard and stayed neutral religiously and politically. During the philosophy exam, he basically asked us a question and then proceeded to answer it himself. That was nice. He even told us how he scared the living soul out of a rowdy teen who was being a jerk to him. So I said, "Have you ever been clocked in the face by a priest?" And he silently walked away, giving me a scared cat look. We also had PE, because reasons. The guy teaching us was the typical old fart who prefers to stand off to the side and tell you to run 50 laps. We didn't like him. The fact that PE for my group started at 6 p.m. was making it all even worse. Imagine having the whole day free, but living with the dread of having to show up to a stupid PE class as a 20-year-old at 6 p.m. and be there until 8 p.m. And also always being late and leaving early because you commute by bus and have to adapt to the schedule. I almost failed the first semester because of this class. I was a couple of hours short for meeting the quota for passing. But not only me, just to be fair, there were 4 of us in total, including JJ. The guy told us to make up for the missed hours at our uni's pool. I hate water. But we had no choice. So we met up with JJ at the pool, found out there's a hot tub and chilled inside the entire time. Then we figured out that we only need a signature of a lifeguard currently available at the pool as a proof that we've been there and filled missing hours. He doesn't know how long we have to be there, so we skedaddled after maybe 2 hours of slow cooking in the tub. But hey, we passed. With a 3, or E in the US, I think. But we passed. Eventually, we learned how the PE classes work. We do a warm-up and then we get balls to play with. The PE guy was a grumpy old man, but he allowed us to pick what we wanted to play. And because sometimes we had classes with another group, we could play multiple games at once. Volleyball, basketball, table tennis, and so on. There were enough separate courts for all of that, so we had a free hand. One time, me, JJ, and one more girl, we can call her Magpie, wanted to play table tennis because we don't like other ball games. But the volleyball team was one person short, so the old fart came to us to drag one of us to fill the empty spot. Okay, girls, which one of you want to play volleyball? Come on, one of you has to go. You go. He picked Magpie. She refused. He got angry and they got into a full-blown argument. It was uncomfortable to see a friend arguing about something so silly with a grown man. I can go. I quickly trotted back to the hall to end this charade. I wasn't very happy about playing volleyball. My flimsy, bony arms take a solid beating every time I have to hit incoming balls. And the amount of times I cracked my fingers to the point of them swelling and hurting for an entire week is too high to count. But I did it. And barely played at all. I ended up moving away each time I didn't feel like hitting the ball. And nobody gave a flip, it was beautiful. Magpie ended up buying me a candy bar the next day as a thank you. Back in the big bad virus years, we were granted the blessing of online classes. However, my uni couldn't get a single thing right during all 3 years, so online classes made more problems than solved. The pandemic was pretty much done. Masks were optional at this point in time and we were meeting up in the uni building for classes and lectures. But some lectures were still in the online mode. It didn't make sense, so much so that we had normal classes in the morning until afternoon, and then had online classes on our beloved MS Teams. Do I have to say that we had a window of time to get back home and hop on the meeting? I was late multiple times, and on some days when I got home early, I simply forgot we had online classes too. Big thank you to my friends looking out for my forgetful butt, texting me each time I didn't show up on time. One time we were informed that a lecture will be in the university building instead of online, so we all got there, and believe me when I say this. This was the most cyberpunk experience ever because we showed up to class only to see our teacher on the multimedia board. we had an online class, but in person. Is this the future? That's about as much as I remember happening during the first year of my university experience. Feel free to let me know about your school experiences in the comments. Uni, high school, grade school, kindergarten, whatever goes. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.